Watch who?
Hello. And welcome to To Watch Who, a Doctor Who podcast. I'm Mark.
I'm Sarah.
And I'm a Doctor Who fan.
And I'm new to watching Who.
Watching for the very first time.
Very first time.
Well, I'm not going to start off the podcast by saying, are you my mummy? Because that would be weird.
That would be Mark. That'd be very weird, and I'm glad you've acknowledged that.
It's the Empty Child and the Doctor Dances this week, another two-parter. In terms of updates, today I realised, which I don't know if this is new or not, on Spotify podcasts, you can leave comments on the episodes. I don't know if that's a new thing or not. I don't use Spotify at all, so I have no idea. But I noticed that we have got quite a few comments from our Spotify listeners on various different episodes.
Lovely.
So I just wanted to say hello. You have been seen.
At last. Thanks, Mark.
I noticed a few regular names there as well. So what I might do is just go through, maybe at the end of each season, go through the comments that we have on Spotify. Maybe we can have a little Spotify roundup or just comments generally from all of our socials at the end of the season, maybe, because it's going to take me a bit of time to go through. I have no idea how far back these comments go. I did see one though. I did see one in the wilderness years. So hello to, well, it's not going to be hello because I don't know if you remember, there was one episode where I commented on Peter Davison's acting, and I said I just see him as Peter Davison.
Yes, I do remember that.
Anyway, so one comment on that episode was, you've said that Peter Davison can't act. I'm never listening to this podcast again. So,
oh, well, probably not then.
So if you are listening, thanks for that comment. I didn't say he couldn't act. I just said I see him as Peter Davison, not the character. Slightly different thing. Anyway, we'll do some Spotify comments at the end of the season. I think in terms of this episode going out, it will be on time. I think for our patrons, it will be late.
Apologies all.
Because I think Sarah has overslept on a few occasions.
Yeah, I acknowledge that. I acknowledge my oversleeping. I overslept again today when we're actually recording, didn't I, Mark?
Yes. Well, it's been like a sunny week, mostly. It's a hot summer week, just like it was back when this story was broadcast, as I remember. The two-parter, I watched part one definitely back at home. I have vivid memories of watching that. And I watched part two at uni. I particularly remember part two because I watched it in I was in halls of residence, and I watched it in the kitchen area with the TV.
Yeah.
And I remember it being bright sunlight. And my friend Chloe from school was visiting, and I vividly remember this, we sat and watched it in the kitchen area. I only had 5 people, well, including me, in my halls. Everyone else had 10 or 11. We were in this weird little ground floor flat thing where we were the only one with a few of us. And because I think when you send away, I don't know, UCAS or whatever it is called now, you write down, I remember writing down personality thing, what things do you like? And supposedly they tried to match you with similar people. I feel like we were the 5 random people left over after they'd done that, because we were all on different courses, all completely different people. We hardly saw each other. So random.
What did you put down?
I think I put down reading, and I don't know. But we were all very different, so I didn't really see them at all. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been watching the Doctor Dances in the communal area. I would have watched it in my room because I had a TV in my room. But I just remember we sat there in the kitchen, nobody else around. My friend Chloe came down to visit, and then we went to the pub afterwards. So that is my immediate memory of this story. I wasn't sure if you would have known anything about this story.
Oh, I remember seeing, I'm pretty sure when I think of this season, I think I remember the whole, because it's got a good casting as well, some great guest appearances and stuff. So I think I remember seeing publicity for it and the kids with the masks and stuff like that.
That's the thing. It's the one with the gas mask child. And I think this is where, Doctor Who's come back, it's been great. It's going up and up and up. And this is the one I feel like it's had that sort of cultural moment. A bit like in Classic where, when the Daleks first appeared, everyone was talking about that. I don't know, the giant maggots. Everyone remembers that one. There's certain things that everybody remembers, and this is the new series. I think at this point, with the empty child and that moment, the one with the gas mask kid, is when pretty much, Doctor Who's future is assured, because it's in that public consciousness now. I think that is what, and this is like the number one Ninth Doctor story. This is like voted like the best one again and again. And it's written by Stephen Moffat. Well, actually, he wrote the Rowan Atkinson comic relief one.
Yeah.
Although this is his first chance of writing proper Doctor Who. The setting as well, World War II. I really like stuff set in World War II.
It's a classic time to set something.
If there's like film, like a genre, there's a couple of genres that I like in film, TV or whatever. And I don't know why, like, maybe World War One as well. Just a sort of world war is one of, like those films like 1917, All Quiet on the Western Front. What else?
Have you watched, is it Dundee?
Oh, no, I've not seen that one.
That's the one with Harry Styles in, isn't it?
Oh, no. I'll have to add that to the list. Atonement.
Oh, yeah.
Remember we watched that? Yeah, stuff like that, just set in that time. I don't know what there is. There's something about it that I really like. That's why I like this one as well. My other favourite genre is the moon, just out of interest.
The moon?
Just stuff on the moon, like the film Moon, Gravity. That's in space, but whatever. There's quite a few set on the moon. What's your, genre film?
I love a period drama, because I love, Pride and Prejudice. Sorry, I'm eating some Magic Stars. Little Women and Pride and Prejudice, that sort of time. I love a film in the late 80s, 90s.
Okay.
There's just something about the fashion of that time as well.
Okay, well, let's start through the story. And for both of us, because I'm just going to blame it. I'm going to blame it on Sarah's oversleeping.
Oh, do.
All my notes are a week old, so I'm trying to decipher them.
I watched it a week ago. I had to check with Mark when we were recording. I was like, it is this one, isn't it? And he was like, yeah. I was like, I watched it a week ago.
I got a message from Sarah saying, it's the one with the Victorian child, isn't it?
I also appreciate that you heard that and you're like, I know what she means.
I know what you mean. Part 1, The Empty Child. If you cast your mind back, it starts off, we go straight into the story. The Doctor and Rose are chasing something through space. They're following it through to Earth. So we get some special effects there. I say this is a great story, and it is, and it's been a while since I saw it. There is one thing that really annoys me. It's the clothes swatch of it all. And Rose wearing the Union Jack top.
I love the Union Jack top.
I cannot stand it.
It reminds me of Geri.
Only Geri can wear something like that. But my problem is, Rose is wearing the Union Jack top. Even the Doctor says, are you sure about that? It's there to set up that she ends up on that balloon floating with a flag when there's the Nazi planes bombing and stuff. It's set up for that situation, for that joke. That is the only reason. I do not believe Rose, the character of Rose, would wear that top. That's not even fashionable in 2005 for a character like Rose. Rose wears punky fish. That's her hoodie and stuff.
Yeah.
That top is, because there's lines about it as well, it's just so obvious. It's really, really annoying. Every time I see that. If there's one thing I could change about this story, it is that.
I wonder whether, though, I would see Rose wearing that top. I do think she would, because, hear me out, she's sort of drifting through space. She's trying to identify in a different way now. And I wonder whether that's she's gone for this sort of British thing. It is a hark back to the 90s of a more... she's going through her feminist era, right?
Oh, no. Well, okay, so...
You can't disagree with that. That's why you went, oh, no. You're like,
no. So your point, you're saying she's going through space. If you were going to travel through space, you would want to represent your country by wearing the flag. No, it's just because you're going to World War II, where it's probably quite dangerous to have that flag out there. No, I'm sorry. It's just set up for that really annoying...
Oh, it's so set up. But I can imagine her, going through, look, can you not imagine a young Rose listening to the Spice Girls?
Yes, okay.
And she's going through her sort of era of... she has tried on different fashions so far. We have seen that in the TARDIS.
Yeah, but it's sort of just been a hoodie, really, not majorly out there.
Did she have something else on the other week? Like a whole outfit?
She had that red, weird zip-uppy thing.
I enjoyed the Union Jack top. When she came out in that top, I was like, I love that top.
We'll disagree on that one. Anyway,
I feel like she's going through her feminist era of like female empowerment. You know, she's a single woman. She just ditched Ricky. She's just
Mickey,
Mickey. She's just ditched
Adam.
Adam, right? And she's finding herself as a woman, and maybe she's seeking that through the power of Geri.
Okay, the power of Geri. There we are. Right. But then the Doctor and Rose are quickly separated for quite a lot of the story, which we haven't really had that much of before. They really go off on their own parts, which I suppose in a two-parter you want to be able to do that because there's plenty more time for the build-up. And I think that's why this episode is really good because it's got that time to set the mystery up. Rose sees this child with the gas mask on the roof, goes up to try and save him.
Oh yeah, I mean you would. That's a very Rose thing to do. She's in her top. She's in her proactive feminist era. Of course, she's going to go and save the child.
So up she goes, and off she goes, hanging pretty much for the rest of for a good chunk of the episode. She's just hanging on that rope on the balloon. And then we see like sort of blitzed London as well and everything like that. And she's just hanging there for the joke that she's wearing a Union Jack top. Meanwhile, we have the Doctor sort of going off investigating, trying to find this thing that's crashed. I mean, this story has lots of creepy moments. And I remember this is like genuinely being sort of scared watching Doctor Who, really for the very first time.
It's a really scary episode, actually.
It's really unsettling. Even when I was watching it in like bright sunlight, I wasn't watching this in the dark or anything. When that phone rings in the TARDIS.
How can you be ringing? What's that about ringing? What am I supposed to do with a ringing phone?
Don't answer it. It's not for you.
And how do you know that?
Because I do. And I'm telling you, don't answer it.
Randomly, which I don't think that's ever happened before. Why have they never done that before?
I can't think of any time that's happened. I'm not the best person to ask on that, but when it rang, I was like, I cannot think of a time that phone has rung.
Yeah, and even the Doctor says it's not connected or anything. I don't think you don't really think that there's a phone behind there. You just think it's just a panel. You don't think there's something in there. Yeah, everyone's going to write in and be like, "In there's a story." The phone rang. Anyway, and it slowly builds up these weird things that are happening. We meet our first supporting character, Nancy, who is great. Nancy is brilliant.
The whole cast in this is great.
And the actress that played Nancy, I looked up, she did a couple of things after this, not anything. I thought, in my mind, she went on to be like in films as like a big actress because like she's really, really great, but she didn't really do much else. She had been in The Demon Headmaster way back as like a child.
I can imagine
like
that.
Random, like person. So I think she's done a lot of things as a child.
Yeah.
But like going on, I think she was in that sort of Pride and Prejudice, that sort of modern. She's done a few costume dramas and stuff, but nothing much after this, which is a real shame because she's brilliant and she really carries a big chunk of these two episodes.
She carries the role. She carries a lot of the story.
And when I was talking about finding a new Edith, Lucas did put Nancy up for that to say maybe Nancy's more of a new Edith. I don't know. She's not. He does
serve all the beef.
She serves the beef.
Or is it pork? I can't remember what it is actually. Beef or pork?
Well, I mean, Edith would have done the same. Absolutely, there are similarities.
Does serve
to
all the food to the kids.
She does, but I don't know. There's something. No, I don't know. There's something different about Nancy. She's not an Edith for me, unfortunately, but she is quite close. So she's basically been sort of like Robin Hood of the Blitz, isn't she, Nancy? Go around like feeding the children and sort of breaking into houses and stuff. Meanwhile, Rose is saved by Captain Jack, played by John Barrowman.
Yeah.
Did you realise John Barrowman was in this series?
I mean, I knew he was in Doctor Who. I wasn't sure if it was 1 or 2. I knew he was on in early Doctor Who.
So I remember when John Barrowman was announced, like cast in the new series of Doctor Who, John Barrowman, it seemed like a big thing. I had never heard of him before Doctor Who. I think he was known in maybe the theatre world.
Yeah. I mean, because have you ever watched The Producers?
No.
Okay. The musical, but there's a film of it. He's the guy that sings Springtime for Hitler. He's got platinum bleached blonde hair.
And that would have been before Doctor Who.
Yeah, it's 2005. I'm going to look that up. If I've got that right, good film, musical, theatre knowledge, Sarah, producers, movie.
It seemed like it was a big thing, and I was like, who is this guy? And it said he'd be, cast in a couple of episodes of Doctor Who.
2005, Mark! I nailed that.
Well, that's the same year that this is out, so he must have done...
But it'll have been filmed the year before. It'll have been around that time. But yeah, he's in that. I'm trying to figure out what he must have done before then.
Presented live and kicking back in the day, very briefly. But I feel like John Barrowman, who is known today, like Doctor Who made him that Saturday night TV personality.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like he wasn't anything before that. And then the sort of John Barrowman came. And I don't know, it depends what mood I'm in watching a Captain Jack episode. Sometimes I like Captain Jack / John Barrowman, sometimes I don't. Obviously, Rose has picked another cancelled boyfriend again in this series.
We are like, she's racking up these cancellations.
She is. It's really weird, the whole... I won't go on too much about the John Barrowman thing is, because he's obviously like not the Saturday night TV person anymore, and I doubt he sort of will be now, and I doubt he'll do any other Doctor Who type things now, but he does do conventions and stuff. It's a weird sort of limbo where it's the TV world has sort of got rid of him, but he still is sort of within some fan. I think he does a lot of the American conventions and stuff, so you can still have your photo taken with Captain Jack. It's a very weird thing, the whole John Barrowman thing. Anyway,
he's a voice on Fireman Sam.
Is he?
Yeah, I just looked up on his thing. That's very Welsh. I don't know when.
Well, no, I think that sounds like
he did move to Wales, didn't he?
Yes, yeah. I think he's in America now. That must be a new Fireman Sam, not the original Welsh Fireman Sam. The guy that sung the original Fireman Sam theme tune.
Oh, here we go. Mark's story time now.
No, it was Mal Pope.
I know the name.
So he did. Do you know what he did? Mal Pope, Fireman Sam guy.
He's in quite a few Fireman Sams. He's in Fireman Sam Set for Action and Fireman Sam Ready for Action. I want to know who he is in it.
I feel like he is. Oh no, because he's from Scotland as well, isn't he? Oh no,
he's got a Scottish parents.
Yeah. Sorry, I just got Wales and Scotland mixed up. Mate, I feel like he's doing a Scottish accent in it. I feel like this is like new CGI Fireman Sam. That is the kind of Fireman Sam that John Barrowman would be in.
Yeah, that's what that one is.
But original 80s Fireman Sam with the Fireman Sam theme tune.
He's always on the scene. Fireman Sam. Oh, wait, I'm thinking of Postman Pat being very Welsh. What's Fireman Sam?
That is it. You just sung it. You just sung Fireman Sam.
Yeah. But I'm trying. Like Postman Pat is Welsh. Fireman Sam must be English.
No. Fireman Sam is Welsh because that was composed and sung by Mal Pope, the Welsh performer. And do you know what he did? I remember he did the very first specially commissioned musical opening show for The Gate. Do you remember that?
He did.
You know all those pictures of Cappuccino girls?
Oh, God,
that was Mal Pope, where
That's
he used to work.
why I know the name.
And when I first started working there, Mal Pope must have been a friend of whoever was there. I remember being on reception, and there was like a corridor down to the cafe. You walked in, and there was a long corridor. Mal Pope came in one day, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm allowed to busk here." So he went down to that end of that corridor, in the middle of the corridor, and just busked inside the venue for like a whole afternoon. Just started playing guitar and put a thing out, and then people were walking down to the cafe, like very few people,
of course, because no one bloody came down.
No one came in, would throw money, and he was like, "Yeah, I busk here." And I was like, "Do you?" And then someone was like, "It's Mal Pope. He wrote the Fireman Sam theme tune." I was like, "Fine." He didn't sing Fireman Sam, unfortunately. He was singing something else. But I just remember thinking, who has told you could busk in the corridor here? Anyway,
I'm sure it was probably a board member.
Yeah. Anyway,
and your payment will be that you can busk in our corridors forevermore. We won't pay you, but you can busk in our corridors. I still have a mailbox, so quickly.
Anyway, he wrote Cappuccino Girls as well. Well, let's get back onto John Barrowman and Captain Jack.
Hang on, so Postman Pat, just very quickly. So what's he then?
Postman Pat was,
Because
I think he had
Fireman Sam's from Pont Mantai, which is Pontypridd and Tonypandy. So Postman Pat, I thought he was also Welsh.
I feel like he's in the Yorkshire Dales or something, Postman Pat.
You're right. He's from Longsleydale near Kendal. He's from Greendale, Longsleydale near Kendal. He's a bit of a Welshy name, though.
And just to throw in another one, Thomas the Tank Engine is Sodor Island, isn't it? Anyway,
sorry. I'm done now.
Let's get back on. So, Captain Jack, I wasn't a particular fan of Captain Jack to begin with. I did find him a bit cheesy and annoying. And I'm not sure. Well, Rose just falls head over heels for him.
Of course she does. I mean, to be fair, I think I'd be the same. If I'd been on a balloon and then some, like, beautiful, heroic guy came and rescued me, would you not, Mark? If some beautiful man just comes and rescues you from a balloon?
Well, I suppose, but I don't know. She's just a bit. I don't know. This feels like I feel like this is too early on to criticise. But Rose does get criticism later on by fans. I feel like this is a little bit early, but it's sort of here. Rose gets a bit sort of cocky and a bit. She hasn't been travelling that long, but she gets a bit like, where she's like saying, oh, my associate, the doctor, and she starts doing the deal with Captain Jack and stuff. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit of a smugness.
She's wearing her feminist Spice Girls top, thank you very much.
There's a tiny bit of smugness to Rose, I feel.
Yeah, I can see that. But I think that's sort of like her age as well.
Yeah, I suppose
that's
so.
like a maturity or lack of maturity of age.
Meanwhile, we follow a lot more of Nancy, like you say, with the kids and everything. It is all a bit Oliver, and that's great. Have
you
really
watched
good.
Oliver yet?
No, I haven't watched Oliver yet. No, literally the moment I said that, I was like, oh, I haven't watched it yet.
Add it to your list. Do you know what I'm watching at the minute? So this is I'm a mess. I'm really sorry, everyone. I'm like, let's talk about Postman Pat. What else have I watched? As of yesterday, the time of recording, I'll be back watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives on Disney. Have you watched any of that?
No, I've never seen any of that.
Trash mark. It's brilliant. It's absolute horrible trash carnage. It's fantastic.
Okay.
It's awful. It's horrific. You'll love it.
Okay, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
It's on Disney. Watch series 1 first. Oh, it's torturous. Fantastic.
Back to the Blitz. Nobody is watching Secret Lives of Mormon Wives in the household because Nancy is getting all the food ready. There's no TV on or anything. And this is really creepy because all the kids are there, and then there's the knock at the door.
Yeah.
And again, we have a lot of point of view from the masked child. A lot of point of view shot in this series. I thought this was really creepy.
Please let me in, Mummy. Please let me in, Mummy.
You all right?
Please let me in.
You mustn't let him touch you.
What happens if he touches me?
He'll make you like him.
And what's he like?
I've got to go.
Nancy, what's he like?
He's empty. It's him. He can make phones ring, he can. Just like with that police box you saw.
It's set up, and Nancy's like, don't let him in because there's something wrong. And it's just that, I don't...
It's done really well. It's done very well. Because it builds as well, because she sort of warns him at the start with the doctor. She's like, don't answer that phone. We see the child and then we see the thing with the doctor. They're not connected situations at that point, are they?
No. And it's really weird. When all like the radio and the phone is going and everything and all that's happening, why is it in all TV and films that a little monkey doing the symbols is like a horror film thing?
I was like, where did that monkey come from? I was like, where was that toy?
Of course there had to be a monkey playing the cymbals. It's like in every TV and film thing. There's like a new horror film out, literally just about a monkey playing the cymbals. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it's called like Monkey or something. But it's a trope, isn't it, that's in everything. But why is it scary? Because it really is scary when there is like a
happy monkey playing.
The monkey doing the thing and all the electrical stuff going and everything. It's so completely a different show to the Slovene a few weeks ago, or even like Father's Day last week to suddenly be in this sort of like more horror, scary, which maybe that's why this is when Doctor Who got really popular and everyone remembers it, because this is the sort of thing that people like and remember. You know, nobody's talking about the other ones, or the Slovene didn't really have that same. It's funny how this sort
But
of
bear
tone.
in mind, yes, but maybe I'm being a bit nice here. I feel like some of the earlier episodes, though, are setting people back up that don't know the series. It's only now, I mean, apart from the Father's Day one last week, that one was a story. We're now getting into stories because a lot of the groundwork has been set. All of these sort of boundaries have now been set up.
Yeah, like maybe this wouldn't have worked as well if this was like really early on with the instead of the Slovene one, like in episode 3 or 4 or something. Maybe it's too early, but maybe yeah, it hits at the right time of the series as well. That we know these people, because then Rose can go off. She wouldn't have gone off her own necessarily. Before.
Well, this is it. We've also had all that stuff with the dad stuff. I think that came at the right time for her character. She's now had like an emotional arc in that sense that she's now feeling more independent, and there's a lot gone on.
Captain Jack thinks Rose and the Doctor are time agents. Anyway, it turns out that he's a time agent. More of like Nancy saying, go and talk to the Doctor. Which, when I first watched, I was like, oh my God, there's like another Doctor. But anyway,
I bet you did. I bet a lot of fans did as well.
Like, that's really there on purpose, isn't it? To
Of
say,
course
go and
it
talk,
is.
find out for the Doctor when this thing landed near this hospital. Location watch, the hospital is Cardiff Royal Infirmary again, those gates and everything in there.
I saw the arches and I was like, I recognise those arches.
I think inside as well, it's those same corridors as well. I think they've just put sort of like sandbags and things along, but I think it's the same ones as in we've used.
They
before.
probably filmed them at the
Obviously,
same time.
They're probably like, sorry, Sarah, the STD clinic is shut. We're filming more stuff with John Barrowman.
That
this
needs
week.
clarification. What episode were we last in the hospital?
That was the Slovene World War
Go
III
back to the
aliens.
Slovene for that story. Otherwise, you're going to be like my mother was, very concerned.
The Doctor that they meet, Dr. Constantine, is played by Richard Wilson.
Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant Richard Wilson.
And actually, here's a Richard Wilson story for you. I've been waiting all this time. So he did, obviously he's known for One Foot in the Grave and stuff. When maybe a couple of years before this, maybe 2003, 2004, before I went off to uni and I was hanging around with everyone from the co-op, we used to just, go out, whoever had a car or whatever, we'd drive out to Tesco's at midnight or whatever and go around, nothing like wild or anything. Just be like, who wants to go to Tesco's? Who wants to go? I used to get like a text from like my manager at the co-op and be like, go to McDonald's, do you want to go? And this is like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
I go out, we just go into a McDonald's and just come back like really late. That's what we used to do. Anyway, I was out with the co-op people and we were in like a sort of industrial bit where there was like a PC World and I don't know, Staples or whatever, any one of those. And there was like all these lights on in, I think it was a Curry's, like it had, anyway, and they were filming something inside it. So we parked up and we were just watching, and you could see it because it was like, the big shop and everything, and they were in there. And we were like, oh my God, it's Richard Wilson is in there. And we were like, what are they filming? Anyway, we managed to find out it was a pilot for a comedy series called King of Fridges, which must have been set in like in a fridge shop or anything. So we just sat and we were just watching that being filmed. Never seen it, can't find anything about it. So obviously they made a pilot and it never got broadcast.
King of Fridges. If anyone out there can find it for Mark. So
if anybody knows this pilot, I don't think it went, I can't find anything. King of Fridges, apparently it was, unless they changed the name of it. But yeah, so I saw.
They could have changed the name actually, but if there's a pilot out there with Richard Wilson in a fridge shop.
If he's like a manager of a fridge shop, which I think at the time or a few years later I was searching for that, I should go to a signing and ask him, did he do King of Fridges? It's not on his IMDb or anything. Oh my God, it is! Oh my God, I've literally just gone on Wikipedia. Doctor Who, Empty Child Doctor Dances 2005. Above that, King of Fridges 2004 as Frank.
There you go.
Oh my God. King of Fridges, everybody. Hold on. King of Fridges.
Mark's on it now.
Comedy. I thought it had never... Oh my God, it's a film. It's a TV movie. A play about an ambitious young manager of a Dixon-style electrical warehouse who gets saddled with a 65-year-old retrainee on a frenetic bank holiday. Starring Richard Wilson and Mark Benton, who was Clive in Rose. Oh my God. It's a one-off. When was this broadcast? I think this is like a one-off comedy drama. This is the third in a trilogy of comedy dramas. Oh, with Von Trapp. Do you remember that one with Caroline Quentin she was obsessed with the sound of music?
I remember it briefly. I don't think I watched it, but I remember hearing about it.
These are like one-off. Oh, yeah, here we go. Filming locations, Bennett's Electrical Superstore, Chelmsford, Essex, England. There we go. Oh my God, King of Fridges starring Dr. Constantine is a real thing. I need to find that now. Anyway, I was there watching that being filmed. Anyway, we keep going.
You feel happy now? Your joy at that, I'm glad. There was real joy there, Mark.
I've thought about King of Fridges for over 20 years.
I'm surprised you even remembered the name.
No, of course I remember being there. I remember it so vividly. Anyway, back to Dr. Constantine. And this, I think, is the most graphic, sort of horrific moment in all of Doctor Who up until this point. And I'm really surprised, looking back now, that this was when he starts turning into. So we're finding out what's going on.
Oh, yeah, it's scary. The CGI is great.
When he is turning, you see the full transformation.
You, my mummy.
I don't know how they got away with that at the time. I don't think that would be on a series now.
Yeah, it would. What are you on about?
No, that whole sort of like the pain of it and the sort of the noises and the way that his face sort of. I don't think they would do that now. I think they sort of testing it. Like, I'm really surprised at that. Like, it's been a few years since I watched this one, and that shocked me actually.
It is really scary. I'm watching it happen. And it is like his face, like, yeah.
Were you expecting stuff, like, as you're watching this then, are you sort of expecting this story to go like this? Is this sort of keeping your attention?
Oh, it's definitely keeping my attention, for sure.
And we have then sort of the Doctor, Rose and Jack all sort of meet up. There's a bit of friction between the Doctor and Jack.
Classic.
Or, I think the comedy, the whole banana thing with Christopher Eccleston, he still can't do the comedy, I'm afraid. It just feels really awkward. I feel like he feels like he's cringing doing these scenes. I don't know
I didn't think he was that bad, actually. I mean, like, for this, because John Barrowman's so at ease in this role, but I also enjoy, but the Doctor's very confident in his parts. He's great.
I don't know. Yeah, I think Christopher Eccleston and John Barrowman are the complete polar opposite type of actors. I think that's what it is. Christopher Eccleston, I mean, I'm sure he was nice on set and everything, but he's taking it seriously. John Barrowman is just having a laugh the whole time and loving it. I think Christopher Eccleston said, like, he didn't get on with John Barrowman. I don't think those two saw eye to eye, certainly from Christopher Eccleston's point of view. I don't think Christopher Eccleston will ever work with John Barrowman. Even before John Barrowman was cancelled, I just don't think that was ever going to happen. I can totally understand. I think maybe that slightly comes across on screen. But they're sort of vying for Rose's attention as well in terms of the characters, aren't they?
Yeah.
And she's loving it. The cliffhanger is okay. I mean, actually, no, it is really good when everybody has the face masks and they're all getting up and they're all, the zombie gas mask people are coming towards.
When they're all in those beds, the kids, it's terrifying. Well, the stillness is a terrifying thing. It's done really well here. What I think works so well with these episodes is there's so much time allowed. Time's allowed for, well, acting, basically. But time's allowed for, like, you as an audience to take it in. That's why it's so creepy. It's a stillness. There's a lot of nothing happening.
Yeah, because there's a lot of those quiet moments. Oh, it's a double cliffhanger as well, because meanwhile, Nancy, the boy, is after Nancy in the house. Which are the twist about being the mum as well.
Yeah, that
It's
was a good
one.
twist. I didn't see that.
No, I didn't see that one either. And then we find out it's about these nanobots things. So we got the sort of that's our sci-fi element that's going on here. Part 2, like all part 2s, I feel, are because you've got over that mystery and you need to resolve it. I always love a part 1. I always love a setup. The sort of resolution on the part 2, like the Slitheen one, isn't as exciting, isn't as good. Again, you have like the army people coming in, you have like all of the zombies. There's a lot of sort of run around, so I feel like to fill the time. And so it's called the Doctor Dances, which is a bit of a euphemism for sort of sex, in a way, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah. Isn't it?
No. The Doctor Well,
that's why it's called the Doctor Dance, because there's this whole sort of thing about, because Rose and Jack are like flirting and stuff, and,
right.
And then Rose is like, "Well, don't you ever dance?" And he's like, "Yeah, I can dance. I'll show you my moves."
Oh, right, okay.
Isn't that what the subtext is?
I didn't see it as subtext like that, but maybe because I'm just thinking of it as a kids' show.
What did you think it meant by the Doctor Dances?
I thought that it was... Hang on, which one's the first one called?
The Empty Child.
Yeah, and the second one's Doctor Dances. I think I just thought it was like he's with the situation with like he's dancing around, like he getting involved, and then he actually is physically dancing, isn't he?
Well, yeah, so he sort of lightens up. So this is the first time you've seen the Doctor's basically being like, I can be like that. I can be the flirty one. I just don't do that because he's like, trying to save the day and everything and get them out of there. But no, that's I think that is the whole sort of subtext in there.
I missed that entirely.
And the Doctor's like, I can dance. I just haven't danced for ages.
Sorry, Mark. Can we just that both of us had to be like, is the Doctor Dances a sexual innuendo? And neither of us. I was like, is it? And you went, is it? And I went, is it? And we both just. Yeah, I don't know what that says about us, but
no, it is. And then anyway. It all comes out that Captain Jack's like this con man. It's an ambulance, and it's about these nanobots that are like ambulance things. So it's like technology going wrong. It's technology that's supposed to do good, but it doesn't realise what's going on. It's really nice though that everybody lives, everybody comes back.
Oh yeah, it's a lovely ending.
I feel like on TARDIS Wiki or something, it's like this is the first Doctor Who story where nobody actually dies. I mean, maybe not the only one, but it's one of the first ones where, they all come back. And as I say, we got the revelation with Nancy and her son, and he had to recognise her, and then when they hug,
that's a nice moment. Again, though, yeah. I mean, look, things are tied up very quickly. They kind of need to be, but it's not so quick of like we do get that moment. There's time. It was nice.
Well, there's time.
I like the woman being like, I had one leg.
Yes, yeah. There's the really nice moment between Rose and Nancy, and Rose being like, "You win, don't tell anyone, but you win," and her sort of not believing, because Nancy as well, she's great, a bit like Edith, I suppose, in that she sort of, well, no, actually nothing like Edith. I just wanted to talk about Edith. I suppose she has seen.
He's a Marinus. I'm just saying it. Carry on.
He's a Marinus. There you go. Because I suppose Nancy saw the ship crash and she's seen what's happened to Jamie, the kid, she does believe that they're time travelers, or that they don't get into it so much, but she's seen fantastical things.
They're dressed in the right clothes. Of course they don't. They must look like weirdos.
Well, no, isn't there the joke where they're Doctor's dressed up as a U-boat captain or whatever, he's dressed up as a Nazi.
She's dressed in like a Union Jack top and a hoodie and jeans.
Yeah, I know, but there's that contrast between her and Nancy. I think Nancy sort of does believe that they're from somewhere else. What I'm trying to say is she's seen that, she sort of knows more than is going. She's not like freaking out. No. She's doing what she needs to do. She's a hero, absolute hero. I'm just saying right now. She's a great hero.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's doing a lot for the community in the Blitz, and she's like sorting out the aliens. Because she goes back, doesn't she? She goes back to, she knows what needs to be done, even though she knows what can happen if you get touched by the gas mask people. I mean, there's action figures not of Nancy, unfortunately. There's an action figure of Dr. Constantine. There's an action figure of the kid. and Captain Jack from this as well. They should have made a Nancy. Why didn't they make a Nancy? To complete the set. We need an Empty Child set. Yeah, like, I really can't fault this one, and I can absolutely see why this is an absolute standout of the series. And I think this did really set the tone for for how Doctor Who could go forward. It can it's good to scare people. Like, I found it scary. As a kid, I would have actually been terrified of this. Oh, especially that bit as well. I forgot the whole bit, when they go up to the room and the record, the bit with the kids' drawings are everywhere, and then there's the recording.
But that's what I mean. That's what I meant by the stillness, because there's so much not happening there. You're just seeing all those drawings, and they're in that room, and then there's a load of action, right? They're going through floors and stuff. There's loads of action after that. The stillness of that room, where you're taking in, and you're like, and it's a child, and there's drawings, and then you realise he's close, and they're like, that tape stopped a while ago. That tape stopping and that kid being there is terrifying.
That is my absolute favourite moment, actually, from this whole story. That, when I first watched that, I was like, oh my God, this is freaky. Yeah, that was really, really scary. Is this like maybe your favourite so far? It's definitely my favourite so far of this series.
I think so. This set of stories, yeah. I really enjoyed Father's Day last week, but I think in terms of story, this one's been really good. There's so much going on in it. Yeah, I'd say this has been my favourite so far.
But no, I thought you would like this one. I mean, everybody loves this one. I didn't tell you my halfway through story about this week. So we'll round it off,
then suddenly
everyone.
we were going on about the Doctor dancing being sex, so...
Well, it is. Everybody agree with me, please. Tell me that that's what Doctor Dances means. No, it doesn't have to be sex. It could just be like flirting and romance.
You've gone back on that massively, Mark. You came out that was a sexual innuendo. And I was like, is it? That's a sexual innuendo. You came out with that.
I think it is.
Dancing is a sexual innuendo.
It is. If I go on TARDIS Wiki right now and look up the Doctor dances, it will say something about sex.
You do it. I will wait.
Oh, God. Right, the Doctor dances. Here we go. Oh, my God. It is true. It is absolutely true. It says on TARDIS Wiki, the word dancing is frequently used in this episode as a metaphor for sex.
Who's verifying this?
Taken in its more innocent context, this episode features one of the few scenes in which the Doctor is actually shown to partner dance. The only time he does so in classic is when the Seventh Doctor briefly awkwardly dances with Ray in Delta and the Bannermen.
Where are you reading this? I'm on there too now.
This is TARDIS Wiki on the Doctor dances. I mean, there's a lot of notes for this one.
And I'm on synopsis, plot, what are you under?
Because then that actually, just going back, just that whole bit at the end as well, where they're all dancing in the TARDIS, that, I think that's sort of implying, that the Doctor, he's like, I can do this. I can be like Jack.
Taken in its more innocent context, the next one.
I just said that.
Well,
I said that. It's still the same thing. Anyway,
there we are.
There you go. You don't believe it. It's sex. Anyway, I'll tell you my story, everyone.
Yeah. Tell your story. Go on.
Extra long episode. So I went to a charity shop on my lunch break, just have a look around. And I...
Recently?
Like this week, yeah. And I always look at the CDs. I like to sort of get my sort of 90s pop CDs. They're like 50p each, cheaper than iTunes. I was looking... Anyway, I get a load of them. And I got a Westlife album in there, which is quite embarrassing, amongst other things. I'm like, getting the, Now 35, Westlife album, blah, blah,
having
blah.
a great time.
And it's like... It's the South Ocean Army shop, and there's like 3 people at the counter. There's no one else in the shop. There's this old lady. There's this like army man, and I only know he's from the army because he was telling her all about being in the army, and then they're talking about like church and stuff. And then like a youth who is, I can't. I sound really horrible if I describe him. Anyway, sort of a youth that looks sort of a bit.
There's a youth. Yeah.
There's a youth. Okay, anyway. So I'm like, I've got these CDs, and I was like, the youth served me, and they're all there. And he counted them. He's like, that's £2, please. I'm like, great. He's not going to really look at them. And he was like, oh, I better just check that all the CDs are in there. So he takes ages and he's like looking through. I was like, oh, this is embarrassing. He's looking through my CDs. And he gets to the Westlife one and he opens it and there's no CD in it. I'm like, and he went, oh, the Westlife CD is missing. And then the woman's next to us like, oh, it's always the Westlife ones, isn't it? And then the guy is like, oh, I don't think people like Westlife much anymore. And she's like, well, it depends on what kind of music they do. They did change them. And they had this whole massive conversation about Westlife. And I'm just like, I really don't want you to see like, yeah, Westlife CD.
So funny.
And to the point, they're all talking about Westlife, that I say thanks and leave. And they're still talking about Westlife.
Did you pay for the CDs?
No, I did. I didn't pay for that one. It was cheaper. So I paid, and I was like, I'm standing there. They're just talking about Westlife. I'm like, oh my god,
that is so funny.
I just need to get out of it. I was just like, really, all three of them were just like on Westlife. So I was like, oh my god.
Oh my god, Mark.
So I had to tell you that. Yeah.
What have you learnt from that?
I don't know. Don't be embarrassed by Westlife CDs.
You own it. You own it, love.
Yeah, I know. It was just like, of all the things.
They weren't embarrassed. They talked about it openly. You should.
I know.
You should listen to Westlife with pride.
I know. But it was just. And also, because it is a week, when this goes out, it will be at the end of the week. It'll be this Sunday. Is a week on Sunday is. I'm meeting Annika Wills for that photograph.
Oh, for God's sake.
So I've started the moisturiser, eating healthy, drinking lots of water. I need to get ready for this. I probably won't get my hair cut again, but I need this photo to be great.
When was your last haircut?
Last week. I can't go
right,
again
yeah,
so
you're
soon.
Fine. It's been a week.
Yeah, but it's all growing back already.
Well, yeah, that's what hair does.
I know, but by the time it gets to next week, it will be like 2 and a bit weeks, and then that'll be the time to get it. Anyway, I'm started on the regime to make sure this photo is a good photo. It's started already, everybody, for the Dwas event. They keep adding like extra people, so I don't want a big group people or all these big group photo of all these random people. They're adding like in a Thal and someone from the Dominators and stuff. I don't want all of them.
They haven't been in touch about you managing the event, then, yeah.
No, they haven't. Dwas, you got a week to get me and Sarah in to whip up everybody in those queues.
Still not managing just yet.
Yeah. So I'm getting into the readiness of a good photo, hopefully in a week's time. I've just got time to tell you about next week's. It's one episode again.
I didn't watch the cliff. Oh no, I didn't watch the cliffhanger. I did watch the cliffhanger. Is it set in Cardiff?
It is. It's an actual
I'd forgotten
Cardiff
because
one.
I watched it like almost a week ago.
It's actually set in Cardiff this time, not London for Cardiff or Cardiff for London. It's called Boomtown. One episode. Looking forward to. Well, actually, it's not one of my favourites, but lots of people like it, but I don't particularly. But I'll give it another go. It's been a while since I've seen it. And that is the end of this episode. Thanks everyone for listening. Hello again, Spotify people. We'll read out all of your comments from everywhere. I've been really bad at posting stuff on the socials recently because I took Twitter off my phone, so I haven't been on it. And I haven't really been on Blue Sky, and I haven't put any clips up or anything. So
well, I don't have Instagram, so I can't do anything on Instagram.
Yeah, and I haven't done much on the Instagram as well, so I'm catching up on that. So I will get back to doing that soon, everybody. I just haven't had time to do that. So anyway, in the meantime, you can follow us on the social medias that I don't check. To watch who. And we will check them eventually. You can support us at patreon.com as well, where we do a bit of a Gallifrey gossip every now and then with a few extra things. Yeah, we'll see you all next time for Boomtown, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
When he hears that fire bell chime, Fireman Sam is there on time, putting on his coat and hat in less than 7 seconds flat. He's always on the scene, Fireman Sam, and his engine's bright and clean. Fireman Sam, you cannot ignore. Sam is the hero next door.
To watch who?